So the first live stream for the Love Live Girls, the Hasunosora girls, happened, and basically it's more like a bunch of other live streams. We had a bunch of the girls talking, and you get to see them, and that's all good stuff. But subtitles, so I can't really get a whole lot from it. So I'm gonna focus on the part that I could probably talk to a little bit more about you, and it's kind of these videos that they're showing, which I assume will be eventually part of the app that will be having come out later in April. And we get to see some nice scenes of the schools, which we all seen before, but I'm going to focus on the animated part. So you get to see these two girls talk to each other. So we got on the left Sayaka Murano, and on the right Kaho Hinoshita. I think I got that right. And we get to see them for the most part talking on this train. So this exudes potential, but it's not really fully realized, and that's more or less how I feel about this. As the way it currently is, I feel like it reminds me a lot of like visual novels or some games that have those scenes where they're talking to each other, but they're not willing to put in the effort to go out and animate in 3D, and this is kind of what it feels like. So in some ways it feels a little cheapish, and it'd be nice if they put the extra effort to make it more. And I'm sure there's a lot they want to do and do a lot of videos, and that it's time consuming, and to get 3D models for a bunch of stuff. I get it, that it could be a big pain. But it just feels a little off, and especially if you're showing this to someone who hasn't seen someone from Love Live before, you could show them something like this and they'll be like, well, I've seen things better than that in terms of the animated stuff, and that's a good selling point for a series, is having those nice quality animations and having these talking scenes. And I feel this is one of the potential big selling points for this series, and the way it comes off feels a little lackluster. Like, there's some things that I did like, and there's some things that fall a little short. I don't want to try to be mean or pessimistic, but I don't know, like the art, and we saw some of the scenes, they look nice, but the way that these characters are interacting with the background, it looks like it's just a 2D image, and there's no depth to it whatsoever. And when you have 3D models on 2D images, it just looks off, and that's the way it is. And it's kind of interesting that they cut it off right where they should be sitting, because chances are they didn't even draw something there, or you could clearly see, yeah, that's a 2D image, and they're not actually sitting on anything. And that's kind of thing. And also the fact that they didn't even make it so it looks like it's a moving scene, because you're on a train, and guess what, the point of trains are they move, and they even kind of have that almost like a motion blur on the trees in the background. But they didn't even bother animating that, and by putting some kind of loop in, it doesn't have to be too long, but you would think that's another way to liven up the scene, but it just feels incredibly static and unlively, and that's one of the big problems that I have with some of these scenes. And they don't have to do a whole lot here. I'm not saying they gotta have 3D models here and have it look amazing and all that, but it feels like this could be a lot better with a bit more effort here and there. And some things would be simple, like just getting a looping background to the trees and put that in the windows. That could be nice. Of course, this would straight up just look better if they had a 3D scene and just interacting with it. Instead, I'm assuming they're just floating in the air, and that's just the way these models work. It just feels jarring when they try to use 2D with 3D, and it looks a little cheapish in some ways, and I don't know, it kind of rubs me in the wrong way. But that doesn't mean that everything's bad, because the 2D art still looks nice, and the 3D models themselves look pretty nice, with some things that I find a little off. So enough with that scene, let me go show you some more scenes that it actually goes through here. And there's some times when you look at it, it feels a little unnatural, and I don't know, like when you look at a finger, it doesn't come out to look right. And there's this scene where I don't know what happened here. Maybe that's just a glitch of the live stream or YouTube, but you can see her mouth right here, and that obviously looks a little messed up. But we get to see these girls get animated, and it's kind of like, look at Kaho right here. She is not moving, and she's in such an odd position while someone's talking to her, and they're staying static. And that's the part of the problems that I have with this. Is I understand it's a pain to animate a lot of things constantly moving in a bunch of scenes, but that's the thing. They get unnaturally frozen like a robot. and that's just kind of what happens here. And sure, they show a few scenes in here, and some of the movements are kind of well animated, but some of it just doesn't look great. So a lot of it comes unnatural, and I know even in anime and the 2D animation, the background characters just are not animated, they stand still. And that's of course because if you don't animate it, it takes less time. But it feels unnaturally still. So, and they could just do some idle animations, and they do some here and there, but sometimes they just get stuck, and it's like they're frozen in place, and that's not how humans work. They are moving a little bit here and there, and this definitely suffers a bit from that. But some of the animations do look pretty decent, and here and there. And some of the emotions, they feel under-exaggerated and a little lifeless here and there. But overall, I watched this about once or twice, and it wasn't too bad, honestly. And it feels there's a little rough edges here that they can definitely iron out and smoothen out. And it would be nice to have scenes that are not just 2D, that are abundantly obvious it's 2D. But of course that means a lot more effort, but a little movement would be nice, just to try to give the illusion of it being, in a 3D environment. But I don't know, I mean, it's a question of how much effort and time and money they want to spend into this. And of course better than nothing at all. So in the end, like, I have things that I would like to see and things that I can definitely improve. I don't know if it's really worth the time or effort for that. But I think we got an okay product, but it could just be a lot better. And that's the thing that I would love to see, especially because this is something new and different. And you kind of need all the support you need to get to try to get more people to be interested in this. And seeing some of these shortcomings might hinder it. So, I don't know, that's just the way I feel. And these girls, I like these girls so far. And it's cool that this thing has subtitles, so I can have a chance of trying to read and understand it, but let's be honest, not really. But this thing really exudes potential. Just like how I have potential to learn Japanese, but that ain't happening. But honestly though, I definitely see stuff that could be interesting. And I'll definitely try to watch it. But especially for overseas fans, how do you expect them to really truly enjoy this if you don't make it readily available in other languages, or at least just English? Because if you don't translate it, it's just going to be for Japanese fans. Is that what you want? You're going to limit the potential fans here. Are you going to rely on fan translations? And if they do make fan translations, are you going to strike down those videos? And there's definitely a bunch of questions here. I'll try my best, but I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of success. And learning Japanese is tough, so well, I don't know if I will ever succeed in it. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I'll give you a link to the full live stream. I think this happens like 14 or 17 minutes in, so if you just want to skip to this. And let me know how do you guys feel about the animation and this whole project in general. Let me know all about that in the comments below, because I'm curious to see what you guys think. Am I in a minority? Are you guys perfectly fine with this? I'm begrudgingly okay with it, but I think it could be so much better, and I would hate to see it never grow to something where it could be really, really cool. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in another video soon.